So as you read the title, I switched to a Lenovo T480. But the question might arise is, what's the laptop before it? So it was a Lenovo Ideapad Gaming 3, and it had a Ryzen 5600H and a GTX 1650. So pretty decent laptop for its price and um, overall demeanor. But why did I switch? So the short answer would be portability. The long answer would be this whole video. So I would recommend you guys to watch the whole video to get the full idea and understand, will I recommend the T480 in 2025 or not. So first things first, how was the Lenovo Ideapad Gaming 3? It was pretty good. Actually a powerhouse of a laptop. But one thing where it really suffered was its battery life. I know gaming laptops aren't known for their battery life, but it should have gave at least 2 to 3 hours of battery life, but it didn't due to its minuscule 45 watt hour battery compared to the components it was powering, so it sucked up all the juice. So now let's talk about the present, the T480. So why the T480? Basically, it's the most hyped and memed about uh, ThinkPad, and it's the last of the ThinkPads which had good upgradability as per se. The ThinkPad that came after that, T495 and T14, they had half, by half I mean one slot of the RAM was soldered on, and there were only one battery, which was an internal battery. So that sucked. If it went out, you had to change one battery, and it was all in one package. So the T480, it's a mixed bag. So the model I picked was the i5 variant. It has a full HD touchscreen and integrated graphics. Bummer, but I'll explain why I went with the integrated of graphics. It has a 48 watt hour internal, no, pardon, a 48 watt hour external battery and a 24 watt hour internal battery. So combined, it gives quite a lot of battery life, which is why I switched over to it. So speaking of upgrades, this laptop is a powerhouse. It has two batteries, one an internal battery, a 24 watt hour uh, internal battery which can't be swapped, and an external battery which is swappable. So if the battery goes bad, I could just buy another battery and just swap it in without opening the laptop at all. And the RAM, both of the slots are upgradable. There is a SSD slot for full size SSD and a 20 to 30 size SSD too. So now let's talk about the OS. ThinkPad. Guess which OS I would be using? Linux? No, you're wrong. So yeah, before you start writing in your comments that what kind of blasphemy is this, you're still using Windows on the ThinkPad. Uh, but you can't really blame me for it. I tried to use Linux on this ThinkPad. I much prefer Linux over Windows because of its uh, security, its customizability. It doesn't really uh, throw an update on my face when I want to work. But there were some caveats with it. So this ThinkPad has a face recognition camera, which is IR camera, and it also has a fingerprint sensor. And I tried to make it work on Linux so bad, it took me a week, and it was a spotty solution at best. It didn't really work consistently. It wasn't a seamless experience. But the minute I installed Windows 10 LTSC version, so not Windows 11, I won't even talk about Windows 11. That is literally the worst OS I've ever used. I've installed Windows 10 LTSC, so it worked flawlessly. Windows Hello works beautifully, and the fingerprint scanner and camera just works out of the box. Now, it is still Windows. You might get updates, but as far as my experience, the LTSC versions don't really throw updates on your face or uh, mess up Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or anything. So yeah, some might call it a blasphemy or stupidity, but it works for me, so can't really blame it. It may be a skill issue, but if it works, why bother? So, in conclusion, this laptop, more specifically this model, is around 7 years old and it still serves as a good secondary device. I will repeat, a secondary device. I would not recommend this laptop if you are using it as a primary device. For beginner workflow or a student, it might be good, but if you're a working professional or you do a lot of heavy tasks, this is ultrabook, guys. You can't really push it to the limit, do video editing, do gaming on it. So it's a good secondary device which I use for light browsing, light amount of coding, not big projects, small projects, script writing. So this video script was written on this laptop and just being a delight to work with. So would I recommend the T480 in 2025? Short answer, no. At least on the full price. So the full price when this thing was launched, it was around 1 lakh rupees. So no, not at all. But if you can get a sweet deal at 19 to 20,000 rupees, that would be pretty good. That's 215 or $20. So anything above $250 or above like 25,000 rupees, it's overkill. Don't go for it. But if you can get a sweet deal, uh, then just go for it as a secondary laptop, not a primary one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What do I say about its future? I think it still has a good 2 or 3 years. After that, I'll let you know. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching.